draft rule could pave the way for lasting peace after decades of fighting between government forces and Muslim militants. Rosalind de Pavaya in Bangkok has more.
The hope is that autonomy will stimulate development in the resource-rich region that's seen as the country's poorest. On Monday, votes were cast in 2 key cities and 5 provinces. During a visit, President Rodrigo Duterte encouraged locals to vote yes.
We must stand together against violence, against ISIS.
In the predominantly Christian country, Muslim militants in the island have clashed with government forces since the 1970s in pursuit of independence. Autonomy was a condition in the peace treaty signed between the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the government in 2014. Last July, the president signed the Bangsamoро Organic Law, or BOL, which is waiting to be approved by each province and city in the polls. In an interview with NHK, the chairman of MILF stressed the significance of the vote.
We see that the BOL is really the final solution and to the conflict in Mindanao, and it will bring peace and progress in Mindanao.
Other municipalities will vote on the measure February 6th, with final results expected to be announced in the coming weeks. Our correspondent Masashi Yamaguchi joins us from Cotabato City, one of the places where the referendum was held. Masashi, what's the situation there?
I'm at the ballot counting center and the votes are being tallied right behind me. I've visited several polling stations during the day and things looked peaceful. There have been no reports of major attacks or disturbances so far, but the outlook for referendum is uncertain. The largest militant group, the MILF, is fully cooperating in the polls, but other rebel groups are opposed to the autonomous government. And some local heavyweights appear to be against joining it. They are worried they will lose their vested interests and authority if the autonomous entity is created. The decades-long conflict has robbed Mindanao of the chance to pursue economic growth. That's why achieving self-rule has been a long-held dream for local people. A high level of autonomy will be granted, with the right to collect taxes and develop natural resources. The new government will be authorized to apply a Sharia-based judicial system. Many people have voiced hope in the new administration.
We believe that this plebiscite will be the key to peaceful life. And then we cannot assure that this is perfect, but it is near to perfect.
It seems like people's expectations are high, but there are concerns that the Islamic State militants are trying to create a stronghold in the region. Can the new government turn things around?
I think that all depends on whether it can jumpstart the economy. The Philippine government's recent crackdown has weakened some pro-Islamic State armed groups, such as Abu Sayyaf and the Multi Group. But more than 20 other militias are thought to be recruiting members under the umbrella of Islamic State. One reason why the insurgents are still active is the poverty caused by the long conflict. Many of these groups were set up by people with little schooling. The groups recruit poor residents by stressing the Islamic State militants' extreme interpretation of Islam. The autonomous government will be under pressure to end this vicious cycle through economic development. I talked to the head of the international team monitoring the peace process.
The first thing that the new government should do is to look about education and economic development, because without education you cannot have human capitals to manage or to administer or to have a good governance.
Once the referendum decides the area that the autonomous government will administrate, the launch of an interim authority is planned. The autonomous government is expected to be officially established in 2022. All eyes will be on whether the process goes smoothly and whether the government swiftly proceeds the efforts to boost the economy.
Thank you, Masashi.